Thanks everyone for joining us today, parishioners and people of goodwill. We enter the 24th Sunday of year B. We can't be together, but at least somehow we are connecting at this time with each other. Accordingly, I'd like to read part of the Gospel to you today of this weekend. Reading from the Gospel according to Mark. Jesus and his disciples left for the villages around Caesarea Philippi. On the way, he put this question to his disciples: "Who do people say I am?" And they told him, "John the Baptist. Others say you're Elijah. Others again, one of the prophets. But who do you say I am?" Peter spoke up and said to him, "You are the Christ." And he gave them strict orders not to tell anyone about him. Going on from there, towards the end of this gospel, we hear Jesus called the people and his disciples to him and said, "If anyone wants to be a follower of mine, let him renounce himself or herself, take up his cross and follow me. For anyone who wants to save his life will lose it, but anyone who loses his life for my sake, for the sake of the gospel, will save it." Well, there we are. It's, I suppose, needing some explanation, some of those things. During the Second World War, when Winston Churchill became Prime Minister of England, he declared that as their leader, that all he had to offer the Brits was blood, toil, tears, and sweat. When the great Italian patriot Giuseppe Garibaldi appealed for recruits in about the 1800s, he said, "I offer neither pay nor quarters nor provisions. I offer hunger, thirst, forced marches, battles and death. Let him who loves his country in his heart, and not with his lips only, follow me." Similarly blunt and truthful, Jesus told his disciples that those who follow him could do so easily if they were prepared, and only if they were prepared to deny themselves, take up their crosses, and lose their lives for his sake, the sake of the gospel. Thus, we might ask the question, why should we be prepared to make such a commitment? A commitment to deny ourselves, a commitment to make up our own individual crosses. Surely I'll have to trust Jesus more if I'm going to remain or take on this course of action. I suppose this takes for granted that each age in its own way has to come to terms with the question Jesus so flippantly asked his disciples: "Who do people say I am?" At that time, in the early history of Jesus' ministry, Jesus did not ask the question because he was in some sort of popularity contest or seeking their votes. He's asked the question to see if his closest followers come to an understanding of who he is and what he's on about. After all, Jesus' days are numbered. He wants to ensure that he and those who will carry on for him after he is gone are on the same page. However, the disciples' response to Jesus' question indicate that they are not really sure who Jesus is. For Peter alone comes up with a reply that identifies Jesus. "You are the Christ." In other words, you're the anointed one, you're the promised deliverer. In that response, Peter is saying that he understands, at least in some beginning way, that Jesus can be identified as the true Messiah, come into this world. And not soon after, Jesus says something that will seem strange to us, that I read the Gospel just before. And that is, don't tell others about me, at least at this time. Jesus' warning was understood in total perspective is complete common sense. For Jesus did not want the crowd to believe that he was their false notion of Messiah. Because for observant Jews, the Messiah was expected to be a liberator who would gather in the Jewish exiles, restore the line of King David, restore the righteous and kick out the Romans. Thus, Jesus did not at that time reveal himself fully, even to his wider group of disciples, as he did not want people to misinterpret him and his role. Otherwise, some would want to carry him off as their king. His kingdom was not of this world, as we know. Consequently, Jesus immediately, in the very next breath, seized the moment to clarify his mission among them. As it states, he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer greatly and be rejected, be killed, and to rise after 3 days. Not to sugarcoat it, Jesus then goes on to say, whoever wishes to come after me must deny himself, take up his cross and follow me. Thus Jesus does not offer us the easy road, but the right road, because Peter knew it, that he was the Son of God, finally. And I know it, that he's the Son of God. And so many others know it from our experiences and belief that he is the Son of God. And thus we are prepared to take up our crosses and follow him, because we know that leads to eventual salvation, and in the meantime it leads to our peace. Amen.